The two angels arrived at Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. When he saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. "My lords," he said, "please turn aside to your servant's house. You can wash your feet and spend the night, and then go on your way early in the morning." "No," they answered, "we will spend the night in the square." But he insisted so strongly that they did go with him and entered his house. He prepared a meal for them, baking bread without yeast, and they ate. Before they had gone to bed, all the men from every part of the city of Sodom, both young and old, surrounded the house. They called to Lot, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we can have sex with them." Lot went outside to meet them and shut the door behind him and said, "No, my friends, don't do this wicked thing. Look, I have two daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do what you like with them. But don't do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof." "Get out of our way," they replied, and they said, "This fellow came here as an alien, and now he wants to play the judge. We'll treat you worse than them." They kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. But the men inside reached out and pulled Lot back into the house and shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the door of the house, young and old, with blindness, so that they could not find the door. The two men said to Lot, "Do you have anyone else here, sons-in-law, sons or daughters, or anyone else in the city who belongs to you? Get them out of here, because we are going to destroy this place. The outcry to the Lord against his people is so great that he has sent us to destroy it." So Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law, who were pledged to marry his daughters. He said, "Hurry and get out of this place, because the Lord is about to destroy the city." But his sons-in-law thought he was joking. With the coming of dawn, the angels urged Lot, saying, "Hurry, take your wife and your two daughters who are here, or you will be swept away when the city is punished." When he hesitated, the men grasped his hand and the hands of his wife and of his two daughters, and led them safely out of the city, for the Lord was merciful to them. As soon as they had brought them out, one of them said, "Flee for your lives. Don't look back, and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains, or you will be swept away." But Lot said to them, "No, my lords, please. Your servant has found favor in your eyes, and you have shown great kindness to me in sparing my life. But I can't flee to the mountains. This disaster will overtake me, and I'll die. Look, here is a town near enough to run to, and it is small. Let me flee to it. It is very small, isn't it? Then my life will be spared." He said to him, "Very well, I will grant this request too. I will not overthrow the town you speak of, but flee there quickly, because I cannot do anything until you reach it." That is why the town was called Zoar. By the time Lot reached Zoar, the sun had risen over the land. Then the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. Thus he overthrew those cities and the entire plain, including all those living in the cities, and also the vegetation in the land. But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and returned to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah, toward all the land of the plain, and he saw dense smoke rising from the land like smoke from a furnace.
Say I'm sorry, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for every sin I ever committed in my past. I want to say I'm sorry to you. I want to say I'm sorry to myself. And I want to say I'm sorry to the nation of Israel. Because Kol Yisrael Aravim Zeh Lezeh, we're all connected as one soul. So when one of us sins, it affects the whole soul. So if I ever gave Judaism a bad name, if I ever, God forbid, desecrated your name without even realizing it, sometimes you can do that, yo. I've seen many rabbis do that, yo. And they're oblivious that they even do it, yo. And that's the sad part. See, that's what it is. When you get close to God, there's a consciousness, there's an alarm. There's something in your brain that will prevent you from sin, and you'll fall. But right away, you'll do tshuva. Right away, you'll know that's not the right thing to do. It was a momentary lapse. You got weak. You fell to the Satan. The problem is when we commit these sins, it gives the Satan strength. And that's the last thing you want to do. He's already strong enough. Look at what he did to our nation, yo. Look how much he weakened Klal Yisrael. How much they mixed with the Goyim after Hashem yelled and screamed and begged in the Torah. Don't mix with the Goyim. Don't adapt their culture. Don't behave like them. Don't act like them. Don't be addicted to this physical world. Be addicted to a spiritual world. Take all those desires that you have in your heart, because that's where everything starts. In the heart, yo. That's why Hashem says, I want your heart. Take all those desires in your heart and use them for positive things. You have the power, bro. The Satan's not going to come up to you with a gun. You don't even see him. It's just a force that pulls you like a magnet. And you have to be conscious when that force pops up. It's a spirit that will pop up. You could be getting frustrated about something, and then somebody says something to annoy you and you might explode. That was the evil spirit who was there. You weren't aware. Be aware that the evil spirit might be there. And then when that spirit pops up, you'll be able to go to war with him and defeat him. I'll give you like the perfect example. Somebody disrespects you, right? All you have to do is think about the Amidah. May my soul be like dust to all. May my soul be silent to all those who curse me. So you start telling yourself that. And this guy cursed. Not only that, you tell yourself, look who's cursing you. Check the source. Know your personnel. If it's a holy rabbi cursing you, shake. Even if it's a bum cursing you, you should pay heed to it. Sometimes Hashem will send you messages in the craziest way. Be good to all. Be good to the orphan, the poor, the widow. Be good to the needy. Look what Hashem did to Sodom and Gomorrah, yo. Because they were miserly. They didn't help but feed the poor. And they did it with arrogant pride, yo. That's what Hashem really dislikes the most. Sinning, he understands you're going to sin. He already told you in the beginning of the Torah you were evil from your youth. He understands you're going to sin. But to do it in a flagrant way, that's unacceptable. That shows a lack of appreciation. And then after the sin, he doesn't even care, bro. He goes and he goes chills with his boys, comes home, does another sin. It's like no big deal, yo. Got used to it. It became a habit. That's another thing that you don't understand. There's different places in your brain that send different messages to your heart and vice versa. You keep looking at immodest women on a computer screen. You're going to feed that part of the brain and that part of the heart that desires that. It's actually that desire is in the heart, and it's going to take the brain and it's going to make the brain weak. That's why every time you see an immodest girl, you might get turned on. Why? Because you fed that desire. It's deep. You have to understand that, and you can break it at any moment. That's the beauty. You just have to come to a manifestation, a realization that God is great, that this is a test put in front of you to see if you're going to pass, to see if you're going to take looking at this beautiful girl and getting turned on, to thinking and dwelling about God and getting turned on by the Torah. You decide. No one's going to force you, bro. I've never seen a guy commit adultery and get forced to do it. I'm sure it happened. And it wouldn't even be called adultery if he was forced to do it. Bottom line is he goes by his own volition. He goes on his own accord. Why? Because is that part of the brain that should be yelling out, stop, stop, what are you doing? You're about to lose your eternity. That voice gets shut off. That's your good angel and your bad angel. Your bad angel will tell you all the things you don't want to hear. Nah, the opposite. Your good angel will tell you all the things you don't want to hear. You need to change, you're lazy, you're this. The bad angel is going to tell you, don't worry about it, bro. You sinned for 40 years and you're good. God is merciful. Don't worry about it. You were sinful from your youth. You understand? You know, it's like you have two voices in your heart. One trying to encourage you to do good, and one trying to encourage you to do bad, yo. It's crazy how it works, yo. And who sends those voices? Hashem. When you get a desire to do a sin out of nowhere, where do you think that comes from? Hashem. Even if you were led to a bar, you started hanging out with girls, and God forbid you were thinking about doing a sin, God forbid, yo. When I was a little bit younger, I used to go to clubs, yo. That is a breeding ground for sins, yo. Just a bunch of single people looking to get busy. That's what that is, yo. Then you add the alcohol, the drugs, forget about it, yo. It's a recipe for disaster. For an abortion. For an STD. Think about it, bro. Isn't it interesting that if you get too promiscuous, that Hashem has these things set up to punish you? AIDS. AIDS is a virus that even when they solve it, it mutates within itself into a different virus. From the same virus, yo, it's like it has a mind of its own. So you see that it was sent by God direct to punish. Hashem is showing us in this world, yo. You do good, you get good. You do bad, you get bad. Yo, it's crazy how it works, yo. You could convince yourself to like be rude and mean and justify it however you want. And you'll get away with it. And it'll look like you get away with it for 20 years. And out of nowhere, Hashem will put you in a situation that will bring you to your knees, yo. Yo, respect his might. Don't mistake his kindness for a weakness. Appreciate him always.
No, that's asking.
Do you know how much Hashem does for you? The fact that you can eat a pear and taste it is already enough for you to owe him for the rest of your life. Plus, he set the world up to serve man. Yo, Hashem is no joke, yo. He made man, and all he wants to do is give him love, yo. The only time Hashem has to get tough and get like really, really tough is when you get really, really arrogant about it, yo. And whatever you do, don't you dare hurt the widow, the orphan, or the poor. Because if you do, Hashem will make you an orphan. He'll make you a widow, and he'll make you poor. Don't give Judaism a bad name, bro. You know, when I was younger, I used to date Goyot. You know, I was completely secular, bro. Come on, man. I don't even want to get into how secular I was. Just let's put it this way, bro. When I grew up, 9, 10 years old, I used to celebrate Christmas. Not like I really celebrated it, but you know, we lived next door to the Murgatroyds. There were no Jews where I lived. And, you know, my parents became friends with their parents, and they had kids, and we became friends with them. And we mixed with the Goyim, and before you know it, I'm catching crabs for Aunt Nettie. And I'm getting Christmas presents in the Murgatroyd's house. We go there for dinner on Christmas. And there'd be presents for me under the tree, bro. That's just to show you where I came from, yo. And look at me today. Stuck to God like crazy glue. Loving Hashem, knowing the difference between right and wrong, loving the Goyim, but but knowing not to mix with them. And I don't even love all the goyim. There's some goyim I can't stand because they're anti-God, because they're rude, because they yell out death to Israel. It should be death on their face forever. Gonna yell out death to Israel. I'm not even gonna get into it. Could go on right now for 10 minutes and tell you the kind of punishments that Hashem will rain down from heaven. Will have you shaking in your boots, bro. He'll just kill your daughter, yo. And that's the end of that, yo. Have you walking around with your head down, with a frown, for the next 45 years, destroyed. Like that, bro. He'll give you a beautiful daughter that every time you look at her, her face lights up like the night. And he'll take that daughter away from you. You want to play with him? Go ahead. You want to go yell out death to Israel? Go ahead. He won't even head stomp you, bro. He'll send one of his lowly angels to do it. He won't even let one of the high angels come and head stomp you out. That'll be too much. He'll use one of the lower angels. And they'll play with you, bro. Be careful, tough guy. Yo, man. You see these dudes walk around like they like the hardest dudes that ever lived, yo. They have no idea. Hashem will give you an ingrown toenail and you'll cry like a little girl. Man, one of the greatest proofs in the universe that the Satan is a genius and so strong to fool the people is that these Iranian mullahs are going to yell out death to Israel. That's because they're pretty smart, the Iranians, yo. So for them to be that dumb to yell that out, and it's not the Iranian people, it's their leaders. And like I said in one of my videos, I said the leaders are cheaters. Should have said most of the leaders. It's like you say the Jews are bad. No, that's not true. Some are, but many are not. A message to Klal Yisrael. Hashem gave us the Torah. And inside of the Torah, he warned us not to mix with the Goyim, to follow his commandments, to keep his holidays and festivals, to honor and keep, to remember, and to honor the Shabbat, to be kind, to be compassionate, to be merciful, to be courteous, to be polite, to be righteous. That's the whole goal. To be righteous in an unrighteous world. And let me give you some good tips on how to be righteous. Don't ever get upset. That's probably one of the best pieces of advice I could ever give you. Put your ego low. Let it go and know that God is running the show, bro. Somebody hurts you, don't get revenge. Fall back. Hashem will take care of it. Somebody steals money from you. Could have been you stole money from somebody when you were younger. You didn't even know you did it. And now Hashem is coming to take it back, to cleanse you of that sin. Respect it.
No, that's after.
It reminds me of a story with this rabbi who had a $5,000 Kiddush cup. And he was outside of his house one day showing it to the people in his community. And this guy comes over and goes, "Rabbi, can I see that cup?" So the rabbi gave it to him and the guy ran. So the rabbi chased after him and caught up to him. So the guy turned around and got on one knee. And he said, Rabbi, I'm so sorry. I want to do tshuva. Here, take your cup back. So the rabbi said, "I didn't chase you for the cup." He said, "So why did you chase me?" He said, "I chased you to tell you that the cup is worth 5,000. So when you sell it, make sure you get 5,000. So the thief looked at the rabbi like, "What are you, nuts?" He said, "No, I'm telling you. I got it for 5,000. And I'm just letting you know, when you sell it, just make sure you get what it's worth." So this thief was so impressed by the righteousness of this rabbi that he gave him back the cup and hugged him and said, "I appreciate that." And he said, can you teach me how to be like you? So the rabbi said, yeah, come. So they sat down, they started to talk. He started to teach them how Hashem gives everybody their parnassah on Rosh Hashanah for the rest of the year, based on their test, based on their merit, based on their mission in life. So that allotted amount of money that you're getting every Rosh Hashanah is yours. So let's say you're supposed to make $50,000 this year, and you go and steal $5,000. You just took $5,000 out of your $50,000. You stole from yourself. That's one of the reasons why you should never steal. It makes God look bad when you steal behind somebody's back, because it shows you're not afraid of him. Started giving him lessons on why it's bad to steal. And this guy became a big tzaddik and started teaching other thieves how not to steal. Also, it's just karma, man. That's it, bro. It's either you believe there's a force named God running this world, dispensing justice, giving the righteous the rewards they deserve, and the wicked the punishments they deserve. If you believe that, you'll be good. If you think it's all random, there's no God, and everything is good or bad luck, you're gonna fall into so many pitfalls, yo. You're gonna deny karma. You're gonna end up denying there's a God, yo. You're gonna think it's all random. And that's gonna be the end of you. It's not random. Everything is guided by the hand of heaven. Even this video I'm making right now was ordained in Shamayim to be allowed. If Hashem wanted, this video would never have taken place. The very fact that he allowed the time and the space for this video to take place is a blessing with grace. I love you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so much. And I can't wait to the day that I finally meet you. I know so much about you. I know how you feel. I know how you punish. I know how you reward. I know how you hate sacrifices that are fake and the lip service. I love how real you are. I love in the Torah how you talk direct, how you go out of your way not to embarrass the sinner. And it's just like with the tree of knowledge. The Torah doesn't tell us what species of tree the tree of knowledge is. You know why? Because if it did, every time you walk by that tree, you would curse it for bringing death to the world. You would embarrass it. So Hashem is teaching us that when you see your neighbor sin, don't expose him, don't embarrass him. So deep, yo. The Holy of Holies was located in the territory of Benjamin, and the sacrifices were eaten in the territory of Yosef. After the sins of the sons of Eli, the high priest, first book of Samuel 2 and 3, God left the tabernacle of Shiloh and delivered his glory, the ark, into the enemy's hand. He rejected the tabernacle of Joseph and chose the tribe of Judah, the mountain of Zion. Psalm 78, 60 through 68. Joshua came from the tribe of Ephraim, and Gideon came from the tribe of Manasseh. Moses passed away in the territory of Reuben and was buried in the territory of Gad. Jeremiah and Huldah were descendants of Rachav. Barak and Devorah were descendants of Naphtali. The war of Gog and Magog will take place in the valley of Jericho. The Torah begins and ends with acts of kindness. God clothed the naked with Adam and Eve and buried the dead with Moses. Through love and truth, sin is atoned. Proverbs 6:23. One does not know how long he will live. Therefore, when a good deed comes to him, he must grab it. The Torah does not identify what species of tree the tree of knowledge was. This teaches us an important lesson, that a person need not shame his neighbor by mentioning the sins he has committed. If we knew which species the tree of knowledge belonged to, whenever we would see that tree, we would say, this is the tree that brought death to the world. Such beautiful lessons we learn in the Torah. Teaches you how to be an upright man, one with humbleness, kindness, and mercy. I want to thank you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for helping me be a better person, for teaching me patience, for giving me the wisdom and understanding to know that you guide the world the way you see fit. The way you want to will it is the way this world will be willed. And how amazing is it that God has total control, but yet you still have free choice? It sounds like a contradiction, and normally it might be. But when you add the spiritual wisdom of a God, everything falls right into place perfectly like a puzzle. You deserve more respect, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The nations should all kneel down to you and thank you for allowing them to live. The Jews as well should rise up and call out to your name. And thank God we have half of our nation that does that. Now we need to get the other half to do it. And it's so sad to see all these democratic Jews, these liberal Jews, pro-LGBTQ, anti-Torah. Think about that, yo. It's like your parent gave you the most beautiful gift and you use that gift against him, yo. Imagine your father buys you a car and you take that car and ram his car.
No, that's asking.
On purpose. Like, just show no appreciation, bro. Like, in his face. Like, it's one thing you take the car he bought you and you, I don't know, man, destroy it, fine. It's another thing when you destroy his property with what he gave you. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. And those people, unfortunately, will have to taste the wrath of God. And that's not going to be pleasant. You could go speak to any single human being in this world that felt the wrath and the might of God, and they'll tell you it ain't worth it, bro. Being wicked ain't worth it. That's one of my videos I just did. This one will be called Being Righteous in an Unrighteous World. Give me the strength and the power to always keep it classy. Give me the strength and the power to put my ego low, let it go, and know that you're always running the show, Hashem. Endow me with your spirit. Place in me an upright feeling of love, of trust, of compassion, of mercy, that I always look to help. And always know there's never an excuse to be rude. You're going through something tough in your life, be nice to people. It'll help you out, yo. It'll bring you good energy. It'll bring you good karma. And it will bring you blessings in abundance by God, yo. Give me the knowledge and the might and the understanding to always know, to always be humble, to never get frustrated, to never get mad, to never get angry, to never get any of those things, yo. Keep all negative thoughts away. Keep any wicked people away from me, Hashem.
No, that's asking.
Protect me with a force field of fire, like you did with Yerushalayim. I'll keep trying to be the best I could be, knowing you're gonna always be right there for me. And it's your love that inspires me to do more. That's really all it is, man. When I keep thinking about how much you love me and how much you do for me, I can't help but doing back for you. That's why I make these videos, to help your children to know who you are, so that they can also appreciate you. And I know that when they appreciate you, you'll open up your storehouse and treasure of blessings and place it upon them. You're incredible, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And I just want the world to know that. Soon you're going to reveal yourself. It can't be that you're going to let your name get desecrated more and more. The corruption, the injustice, everybody yells out, where's God? You see, I told you he was fake. I told you he wasn't real. I told you they made it up. When Hashem starts hearing things like this, he's going to reveal himself, yo. Be aware. And start changing right now, my brother. Because if not, the time is going to run out. This is in 1600. You know what I mean? We're close and you all know it, yo. You see how the world has gotten in a big hot mess, yo. That's what happens, man. When you let the evil grow and grow and grow, it'll take over. Protect everybody. I love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's your nation. And the righteous Goyim, I love them, yo. But most importantly, I love you. Love you, Hashem.